Why is it not? There you go. Right, pick your spot. One there, one there. It's really picking it in a bit. All right, 20 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Yep. 2, 4. 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1. And just observe that your hands drop down through the center line. Back to the center. 4, 3, 4, 1. Do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're doing this one. Try to drop down straight rather than like that. Drop down straight as far as you can comfortably go. Yes. If you drop down further, but you'll have to do that by compensating by going a bit forward, I imagine. Fantastic. You know, on that, we just want to work within our own tolerance room, so I can get comfortably to there. Oh, what's there? I didn't do that exercise. All right. So something on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the hands come across, the legs straighten up in the middle, they come out, and then you settle. So the upper body doesn't really move other than from side to side. So there's none of this going on. The only reason this goes on is because you're dropping onto your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Why is that important? So, okay, facing this way. And you're going to put it forward. Yes, good. And you lean back a little bit. Yeah. So if I try and push you down with my arm power, do you get very far? Here I just rest, and then I drop my center. Entirely different. One, I'm just engaging this amount of muscle. Everything is involved when I do it from the center. So I'm dropping my center. The only way I can drop my center is to lower my regional distance. That's what I'm thinking about. Just as an experiment. Again. So I'm going to drop my knee, but I'm not going to think about dropping my center. Not the same, is it? No. I'm thinking of dropping my center. So everything's going to be center. Which means you shouldn't feel any element of this going on. It's all I'm dropping my center. Tiny. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, not very dramatic in terms of the throw. It just happens to work. If you want to look at it, then don't do this. It won't work. move if you go like that in their face, mind. You know? So that level, it will work. It's just not very unified or Aikido kind of thing to do. All right, so reaching up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done this one. 2, 3, 4. But you can never have too much of a good thing. 3, 4. Good. All right. So the shoulder rolling. Backwards. A bit of a turn. Use your hips. Left foot. Then kick forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. And guess what's happening on the other hip as you're doing that? If it's going forward, the other one's going back, and vice versa. Should be a nice sense of flow to this. One of the things we'll be playing with tonight. All right. And 2, 4. What do you want to start with? So, a few things to observe about rolling. To do this right, this foot should bisect your middle. It should be on the center line. You can play with this a bit and stick it out there and see how that feels. Or shove it over there and see how that feels. And you'll find that both feel very awkward. It's the natural place for it to go. My foot is sideways on, so it doesn't get in the way when I want to get up. If my foot is down like that, it's in the way, I can't get up. I need to have it sideways on, with the weights dropping out to the left. This one's tucked right in, just underneath my bottom or left cheek, left buttock. So I can shift my weight forward, make it up into the kneeling position, and from there I can get up. So quite important where you put your foot and how you put your foot. And this leg is tucked out of the way. And in the roll, you want the distance between your nose and your toes to essentially stay the same throughout the exercise. So what you can do is you grab your toe with the one arm. All right. Then maybe you need to tuck it closer to you. Yeah. Good. And roll. Holding your tongue. 1, 2. 1, 2. Once you've got the idea of that, let go of your tongue. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Swap sides. 1, 2. 1, 2. As you go, you should got ya. You should feel every vertebra getting a bit of a massage. So what you shouldn't be doing is throwing your back forward, because your toes and your nose is going to change. And what's going to happen is you're going to slam into the mat on, which is not really great fun. Even on a soft mat, it's not fun. On concrete, definitely not fun. If only one precipitous time is in contact with the mat, so to speak, you kind of you dissipate the force. Okay? 1, 2. 1. You want to add a bit of fun to this, which of course you do. You're going to pretend you've got a sword, so as you come back up, you're cutting. But you're going to let the roll create the momentum. 1, 2. Nice and focused. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now we'll become a left-handed swordsman. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Good. All right. So now into the kneeling. Untangled in the mat. Forward. Rolling forward and up. forward. And the stomach is a really good stretch. There's this flexibility in your spine. I think if you can be flat to the floor, you can't. Forward. Right. Up. Forward. Two hands. All right, so makes yourself comfortable. Right. I'll bear that in mind.
It doesn't actually work.
Use joints.
This one, do this.
Yeah. Okay. You got a fuse joint then?
No, I don't have this.
Right. I wanted to talk about resilience. Resilience is one of those words that when you look out at coaching in the business world, it's very fashionable to talk about resilience training. And usually when I hear a word in the coaching world, I think, hang on, that's just Aikido. What have they picked yet another idea from Aikido? Because Aikido is brilliant, basically. It's got all the answers. So what has resilience got to do with Aikido? Why is it good at building resilience? Yes, that's the result of becoming resilient, but how does Aikido encourage resilience? I will accept answers from the floor. Not that floor, not until you're on the mat.
I can't help thinking of the Chumbawamba song. I get knocked down and I get up again.
Yes, there's an element of that. Whenever we get thrown, we get up again. There's the famous saying, fall down 7 times, get up 8, or however many times it actually is. So that's part of it. Yes. Anything else? We're always pushing our boundaries. That's the main thing. There's no point working below what you're capable of here. You should be pushing your boundaries. You're lucky tonight, you've got 3 black belts. So you've got no excuse for not going for it, some. Okay? We're not here to make life easy, we're here to try and extend our boundaries. And if we're to extend them, we've got to work at them. Not above them, because then we'll fall over too often and it will discourage us. But we need to find those boundary lines and either pull people up and get pulled up ourselves. Do you understand what I mean when I say pull other people up or get pulled up yourselves? Because if you're not training somebody of your ability, you're going to find their boundary and help point them up to make it easy for them to push you. I remember when I started this club too long ago now, you showed up on that first night. I was going for 3rd Dan, and you were the most experienced person there after about a week. So I had to get him, somehow I had to push him to push me. Big gap, not quite the same as practicing with the 3rd Dan, but nevertheless, I probably pushed you on further because I needed you to push them. And I always encourage my students to be snapping at my heels. Never stop your voice. I never stop you saying that doesn't sound right to me. And I never say, oh, please don't attack me that hard. I'm good for all. And if I make a mistake, I'm honest about it, and I say I made a mistake, or that was a good attack or whatever. But I expect you to push me, because I'm going to push you for sure. And perhaps a bit of drawing you up from my end, but you're also pushing me up. But it's a 2-way process. Even when you're practicing with somebody that's not your level, they teach you things and they push you upwards. That process of always working in the zone that's not necessarily comfortable makes us strong. Because we have to perform in a place that we're not entirely comfortable. You have to get comfortable with it. And then we have to take the next step and practice in that zone. So that's how Aikido encourages resilience. Is resilience useful on the mat? Yes. Is it more useful in life? Most certainly so. So Aikido training is brilliant in so many ways, but this is an important one. It helps you grow as a person, you gain in confidence, things that you didn't think you could do or you would try. You do as a result of Aikido. You kind of get to a point where you say, I can't say I can't do that because I'm scared. You have to make yourself do it, don't you? We've all been there. Yeah, we've all been there. So at those moments where you feel really uncomfortable, let that inner parrot be whispering in your ear, I'm not supposed to just walk away from this, I'm supposed to do something. Yeah? Okay. Good. Good. Let's move on to flow a bit. We're willing to take questions on resilience if they come up. All right, so this looks static, but I can assure you there's flow. Because I can feel Laura's power, and if I just react to it rather than stopping it, here she comes. And if she carries on going, I would fall over. So that's why I learn to move so that I can stay in the flow of it. And she keeps coming forward until she's no longer there or my move is broken down. Coming forward, my move is broken down. So I've learned something about this technique. But just standing there like a lemon is not helpful. So what I need to observe here is as soon as the elbow goes behind me, it's kind of at a place of no recovery if I don't move the body. But as my elbow comes to my body, I begin to turn and then I blend with this flow here, and then I can start leading it. Light touch, yes? Can you get away? No. Not so easy. So don't do that. People don't like it. Oh, I'm apparently not very successful. But here, as she tries to move, you just keep them there. So lead your partner, keep them close, stay in the center, in the end, and throw backwards. So let's start slowly, giving a flow of energy. You might test it by just allowing a bit of you to move, or you might move all of you. Okay? Go. 2 hands back at least. Please. All right, so you shouldn't do that. So right, there is an energy there, but it's kind of stopping. So I know I can't come in, but equally, if I test it, it doesn't want to come forward. So my only option is to come to you and create a bit of momentum. Generally speaking, you don't want to just block me. You want to interfere with my system or attempt to interfere with my system. Well, get in, yes. So you need to try and get in and to attack. More than that. Right. The second thing that's important about this is the flow does not come from one part of your body. So are they getting the flow? Yeah. That's no good though, because now that I'm not testing her at all. As soon as she withdraws her arm, what should have been a moment of weakness for her turns into a moment of weakness for me because I let the flow go through my arm. I didn't remember to bring the rest of my body with it. So I'm still there. Okay. Okay, so there's a block here, isn't there? So Laura's keeping her hand there, and I grabbed that bit. What does it feel like? What technique would you describe that as?
That is a
A yongkyo. It's a yongkyo, right? So you're letting me apply yongkyo to you. What happens if you open your hand up? Ah, now I can't apply yongkyo to you, that pain's gone away. Right, so as they come in, turning, I've blended with it. If she carries on going forward, I don't do anything, then I feel the yawn go. So at the end, I just open up. Now I've taken away all the possible pain. And notice the movement in her body as I open up. It's stretched her right out, and she really, really wants to take that next step. So not only does it save me any discomfort, but it also takes you off balance. Right. Right, so one more. Slowly. Right. It's quite outside of your center. You're there. Again, I managed to get Nicky back on you, haven't I? What happens if you bring it into your center? It's come off, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah.
Because I can't really, my wrist is bent now. Here, it's straight, I can do that. But here, I can't. Open up. Okay, you can't. You've got to be with me.
Yeah.
And I'm over here. Let me just check myself. I think. Also, a bit of energy. Yeah, so if you look, when I do it, the hand is in front of my hips on my center line. Don't do that. I want to keep you. There too. I don't think I want you there because you can keep me from there. You stamp on me and stuff. Not so easy when you're moving forward from there. Yeah, agree? Yeah. Okay. You know what you're doing. You're going to tap Laura. And Pete's going to tap Laura. And now I might tap Laura. Who knows? Is that on your center line? Better. Okay, so last learning point. This will not throw your partner going this side of his ear. He doesn't care. It's not impacting him. This will impact him. Actually, what you're doing is you're going for. Now you're saying, yeah, I can't do it.
Well, it's not this. It's this.
Yeah, it will be. It will be.
Well, this is something that, like, if you keep the threat,
Yes.
I will keep that in check. But this is the one. This is strategy.
Yes, there is a
This
strategy.
is the
I want to go outside.
That's a disaster.
Yes.
It's not the actual problem.
Yes, it is. But I want to hold this above him like a sword of Damocles. It's pointing at him, and then it veers off. Notice the throw comes from the hip turn rather than, and ultimately he's holding on to it. So let him pull that down. I'm not trying to push through him.
I'll always try to keep it at the distance.
Yeah,
of course, that's my downfall
Which
as
is
well.
very wise. Yeah. Flow. Let's have a full circle. The next two, so tackle the next two. Good. That was better. Better flow. Straight off the center line here. Now. Quite over his far shoulder. Right, can you come in? Or Peter. So that was a little bit too much a throw of your arm rather than using your hips to move them. Okay, so when you finish, notice you need that. So when you finish, your hand will be like that, and you want it to finish with your palm facing outwards. So, what we have here is two opposing forces. Okay, so maybe one of us is stronger and will win this battle, but it's definitely a battle. I want to be leading him forward at all times. And if I turn this this nice line that I've got into that, it's opposing forces. I'm moving him forward. It's like I'm drawing a circle in the sky. I'm always at the front edge of his power. Yep, didn't stick on the wave. Yes, looks better shape. I'll give you a lot to think about. No, don't forget your years happen too. No rest here. We're trying to build resilience, remember? Comes with it. Okay, so good, but you notice the sheet is shorter. Hence the hello when we first started. So we have to adjust the technique. So Nick's a bit taller. So Nick would be maybe thrown from here, but with Laura, you've got to throw from here. Because you want her to stay connected to you, because that's what's stopping her attacking with that hand. If I take it to there for a moment, I'm vulnerable. But while she's thinking about the fact that she may be vulnerable, she'll continue to hold on to it. So stretch her, but don't break it. Don't break the connection. Right, so if you don't get much flow, if there's no connection. Yeah, much better. No worry about that.
We'll try this side. Then.
Good. All right, okay. So in the hips a bit more down. More. Goes off the flow to that. And the more you give, and you are, because you're happy to do that, the more dramatic the throw looks. You can take it, so that's fine. Right, good. All right, so going with the flow, we'll do this exercise, moving your partner around. So you need to start by your partner's side. Don't try to dominate your partner. Because what will happen if you do dominate is that you just push their hand down, but that won't make for much of a good game, right? Don't be airy-fairy about it. Okay. You have to meet this partner in the middle. The closest we've got to this in a non-Aikido way is shaking hands, where we're not trying to crush, where we're not trying to give the dead fish handshake, where we're trying to meet the person in the middle. I'm messing in the middle. How do I know that? Boom. Because there's no give now. Is there? No. But I haven't tried to force you down. I just know that's trying to connect to this. So now where I lead, no people follow. I lead badly, it leads to bad things. So I'm leading well. I walk the other hand. Then again on my left. For two hands. All right, so we've got to get a nice balance between the two. So I'll hold you. You are going with you. And we have to be aware of each other. So we have to be aware of each other's flow and not crash into each other. All right. This one I'll be very well. No, we don't want to do that. Right, so when you're doing this, the person who's been led has a great opportunity to practice moving from their center. So, me. What you want to kind of avoid is, and you always try and catch up. So, when you feel I move, all of them move. You're still on the train. I'm still there as a problem for, unless you get it right. Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's what moments. I'll repeat. Bring all that. Give me way more fun. Your chance to do that. If you have a chance like that, take it. You still need to run Touch. This is a good game for the beach. A bit like that at the bus on the beach. So, as an exercise in practicing unification, balance, center to center, connection, absolutely brilliant. But get your technique, put more emphasis on this, and then start to apply this idea in your technique. Right? So, the first thing I do is I connect. Doesn't matter, it's not got the palm of my hand, but this is, what's it feel like now? Yeah, I kind of retracted my power, exactly. So if you came forward now, it's straightforward. But as soon as you touch out there, we found our boundary. This is the place I want to work, and I have to want to do it. So, what do I notice? Does he want to come in at the boundary? Yes, he does. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he just wants to meet me at the boundary. Oh, sure. No, I don't want to go back. I don't really want to come forward. He just wants to hold me. I can still respect that. I come to him. Or maybe he doesn't want to hold me. In which case, I go with it. What people normally do if they're pulled is try and pull back. I'm not in such a good position now. He wants to take advantage. But I wasn't thinking take advantage of that. You can easily pull it, right? Yeah. Stupid. So if he wants to pull me, then I'll go with it, then he's the one that's overwhelmed. So, even if you can't see a flow in the body movement, there should be a flow in the energy. Right, so I can definitely feel plenty of flow here. So just come back a bit. I don't want to be resisting against that. Neither do I want to collapse. Now, no energy. No energy.
I know it's
Yeah, a lot of people can do this. They're wholehearted, if you like.
Well, this is just out without energy.
Yeah, there's holding like a python.
Yeah.
Get a lot of schools that do that. Or I hold like that. And if I fight against that with my arm strength, then if he's stronger than me, and he should be because he's got 2 arms against my one, then that's difficult. But as soon as I relax, he's really movable in that position. Hold on the python. So it's really not smart to hold hard and not and give up your awareness of the rest of your body, which is what happens when you put all your focus there on holding you still. You kind of miss out on everything else. So actually, the strong thing to do is to hold with power, but not strength. And actually, I'm now already on the feet on the back foot. So I should be changing to respect. So, and there we come. So you run out. So there we come. More than that would be stupid. So at this point, I'm beginning to turn my hips so that I've got room for my hand. Keep my elbow close to my body. Because that's a different feeling, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. He will throw me into the camera at some point. Here I'm pretty good. He's the one that's stretched out. Notice that my hands are pointing forwards and towards my center line, the direction that I want to travel. That would be different.
Yes. You still have some control, but it's going to be a struggle.
We're kind of a 50-50 partnership here. That's where I want to be. Just that creates the beginning of the movement. Yep, so I'm going to be there at some point, but I'm going to change it to there. Not there, why not there? Yeah, straight out, that's where my energy's going now. My focus is up, so if you want to, can you control my hand from there?
Just for some lift.
Yes. Right. So he can do that, and I can't stop it. Can you lift my hand now? No. So now he's attached, and with good reason. What happens if you detach? So it's a very good reason for him to hold on. He's not stupid. He made the mistake of grabbing me in the first place. Now we've got to watch out for this weapon because it's in play. When you round, when I get bored, the hips continue to turn and I drop. He changes his shape. He doesn't want to stay down there. He's going to want to come up. So let him come up. And then I turn my feet. Are you happy? Great. Go for it. You go this way. No. Wait a minute. Okay, please. You have 2 here, maybe 3 if I'm being generous. Good. Yeah. Right. Maybe you need to work a bit. So sometimes maybe you're trying to put them in. Okay.
Well, let me have. Good. Thanks.
But you want the same technique.
No, the second thing. Oh, okay.
I will do the same technique.
But what's not the same?
No,
Change. Oh, same technique. The same technique.
same technique from a different side.
Sorry. Come on.
Not what you did was wrong, it's just not the same technique. It's that.
I can do it.
Remind him what happens when he goes forward. Okay. Yeah, you remember.
It doesn't feel.
No, because you didn't do it very well. You can't be. That's a matter of interest. So why did it not feel quite right from your end?
His history.
Okay, good, excellent. So you're not one, is it kind of as it was before, where he's kind of, you can't get in and he doesn't want to come to you? Is that
Well,
right?
yeah, I think that's good.
Perfect, do that then. We need all sorts in life, we go. Some people want to tackle, some people just want to block us, and some people want to just suck us in. So we just get the chime bits to pass, that's when we're getting in it. So, any movement of this arm, the bit that he's got hold of, is going to be a fight. So I'm still extending out to my fingertips. I really don't want to do that. Don't want to move it. So it's important that I come to meet the arm rather than anything else. So if you extend and push from here, I don't respond. Carry on, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. If it's trouble. Keep going, keep going, keep going. If I bring my elbow to here, at least I can stop it. That's an option, okay? I can do something else. But, so here, while my elbow is away from my body, I'm vulnerable. You feel like how I was holding my arm up in the air. I wasn't relaxed enough, right? So now I am relaxed. So now I meet the elbow. So if you did push, I'm kind of protected. Lots of protection here. But I don't want to stay, keep this moving, so I can pivot around that thing. So it shouldn't feel like the end, and I don't want to come here. I've made myself vulnerable again. Sorry. I don't want to come there. I want to be here. That's where I want to be. So just a couple. All perfection. Perfection. Nothing wrong with that. I have resilience. You become very resilient if you're perfect. Now, what does that feel like compared to what I did?
It feels we're not connected.
Okay.
That's what it feels like to me.
What,
We're
side by
not
side?
connected.
Side by side.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not together, so it's letting me stride.
Yeah. So if I were translating that into what I see, maybe that is the right position, but you seem quite anxious to get on with the flow. This just fraction of a moment to kind of connect there, with the hip there.
Yeah.
Just testing if you were you? And you were. More
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
yeah, just to be aware that there's a bit of connection there.
So it's not that flow is supposed to be.
What are we going to score that out of 10? Okay, it's very good. Away from the again.
Maybe 6.5.
You're trying to right again. That's up to yours. It's a useful weapon. So, yeah. So what I'm feeling is you crushing your stomach on your elbow, which I'm figuring is not all that comfortable with you. So you need to meet it. But if you get to squish me, it's gone too far. So as it touches your toe, I want you to pass me. Notice you're a little bit past me. You're not really slightly ahead of the game. When I'm slightly in front, there's always a bit of sack of potatoes about this. And then generate the movement for you. That's better. Can't do anything about the fact that you're short. You never will. That's a long way. I can't reach above it, it would be stupid to do so. Now, and where I am. To make sure that you're acting in your zone rather than trying to think that you can go further than you should. So, when we do our circle at the beginning, that range is what you're going to be working with here. Does that make sense? Yep. You're ahead of me, I noticed. So, one of two things has to happen. You need to give a bit more and try to enter with all of you. But if he doesn't, and you're going to be beat, then I need to make more of an effort to join you. Yeah. So I make sure that my position is right by her side. I don't want to be here, that's going to feel different to you. I can already feel I'm straining to take you away. But here is okay, isn't it? There's nothing to resist. No. I'm not going to actually move this, I'm going to move that. That's really hard to stop. But if I'm hit, I can't even get off ground zero. To make more of an effort to get right by him, but you get. It's okay, occasionally I want you to do that, but occasionally I want you to be flowing in. Lots of energy forwards. Yeah, good. So, then you cut it now. Don't cut it.
Okay.
Carry on coming. Yes. Thank you. Hopefully you don't slam me into the wall. But if I make a mistake, you're showing me that I made a mistake and that I'm in danger here. I will never learn that if just when you make me vulnerable, you cut it. You don't pull back. You just stop. I couldn't get into you. It's just push against it, but it's a stop. And I want to, I want to use your momentum against. That's much more fun. Right, okay. Nico, in the middle, what's it you want to do? So, that's what we're going to do. From which one? Yes, we're going to do from there. What are you going to do? Pick a technique.
I mean, anything.
From 8 forward. All right. Right, sorry, what are you going to do?
I'm sorry, so many things.
Okay.
So, like this.
Let's call this the washing machine technique. Take your big sun. There were important things about this technique.
First of all, break at the moment of touch. We create a single shape. So,
Yeah. So, talk us through what you do.
so from here, because it's coming this way, I have to go down. As you reposition, I go up. And basically, if your range is kind of like continuous, then you actually come underneath. And that's basically, you walk underneath. If not, and you kind of like momentarily stop, then I have to come to you.
Yes.
So it's point down, up, and at this point, go to your third point in the bottom.
Okay. So, these things from my perspective, this point I'm starting to move. If I let him pass my center line, I'm in trouble. So, when this hits my center line, it starts on the rise. Come back. This is the washing machine cycle I'm talking about. The rotation of the drum chain. So I have slightly less emphasis on the down. Where did my arm go when he pushes in? Down. So he wants to come up. Kind of automatically, let the gravity do its job for me. Yep. That could get in the way. Fine, fine.
I think you have to bring your tension down as well, not just the hand.
I do. Yes, I want that. But don't make a kind of big thing of showing it. You naturally will get it down. It will naturally create it up. When you say, oh, under at the beginning of the class, I said the down came from dropping your center, not from flashing your hand at his face. Kissing his face will kind of not do a lot of good, so we're not going to do that, but if you want to lean back a little bit, I can kiss his chest quite hard. And it still doesn't knock him over. This just rests there. Just the way I take all the slack out of the body now. Shift from my 1 point downwards, my center downwards. That connection goes through the. This is just my arm attacking him. It's not as strong, it's not as connected. Good, okay. So let's
Well, I add something on this. When you step, you have to step on my third point of balance, because you're actually transferring both my center of gravity. Because if they were together, you're actually moving it backwards. So that's why I'm falling backwards. Because if you don't really do that, then I won't actually fall it.
What does Nick mean by his third point of balance? He means here. He means creating that triangle. Right, so put a foot back for me, please. Now the triangle would be here. It's changed. So you're looking for that equilateral point. So on this I'll put back. So I would want to go to there. If I'm here, I can't do that. But then I can still put my feet in there. And I can move across.
Yeah.
You might get across into
So very correct.
it's like if you've got a 3-leg stool, pull one leg away, doesn't usually stay up, usually falls over. Make sense? Good. Play with your stools then. I'm thinking this way. Context? It's all in the context. Come on, Laura. Into the camera. Just be brilliant. Oops. Who knows 10 hits to your feet? Don't say that. Yeah, so, try to avoid this kind of thing. When my feet are kind of, the lower half of me is kind of, this bit's moving, but this bit's completely locked up. So if I briefly turn all of these hands and then all of them turn back, I want to get a bit more focus. Right? Pick it up. Let him come. That's let him come through. One more. And then let him step in. Okay, so let's go from here. I'll check with you if that's okay. Laura? So if I let my arm stray away from my body like this, so now my hand is about 2 foot away from my hip, it's like I've given her a wheel post to push against. Right. Her line of attack is straight in. So it really shouldn't stray from my body. If I let it stray from my body, I create a problem for myself. So I have to remember to just get into your flow. Yeah? Not to add my own stuff. That's adding my own stuff. I let her push my arm where she wants to put my arm. I don't know where she wants to take it. Take it somewhere else, yes. She might take it somewhere else. So I can't afford to assume I'm just there. I'm going to be the mirror of what she's doing. Okay? Be a good mirror, don't get foggy. Shiny and bright. That's a little bit better. No, you're rushing. Let's finish on a good one. Here you in the middle. Yes! Up he gets the warrior.
Yeah. I'll try to make that.
Right.
Yes. Just around.
No.
Yes.
And then get away from you. Yeah. So you actually sucked him in quite well. And now you should be turning and stepping this.
Wait until I ask you. Yeah, in other words, you're starting almost this way. You can, don't really come in just about just a little bit.
Yeah.
Fine.
First, you want a triangular shape. You should be able to see my back foot. I don't want to be walking the tightrope and fall like this. I want to be as mixed as handy position. Much better. Good. So he's brilliant in that. Beautiful. That's, yeah, working on the borders though.
Huh?
Working on the borders.
Don't rush. You're in trouble. This way.
One of the things that can happen is we know the shape. We know the shape is this circle in back. But if I'm thinking about the back before I let him come through, what happens is we have this big clash. I have to let him decide when to go down and when to go up. And when to go down. So the timing of this is determined by him. What I have to do though is not be compromised by his movement. Okay, so I'm not compromised, I am compromised because that hand passed my center line and I didn't respond. So I don't compromise myself and create this space, but I still don't get in the way. As you say, if you were coming forward, there's the but it's sensible for me to stop where he does if I'm not being too dynamic. So he's stretched, so now I have to step and move myself.
But like, shouldn't be my job, rather than use stopping. Shouldn't be my job to continue, even if I'm coming
Well, ideally,
slowly.
yes,
Okay.
it should. Well, you're humans, right? So it doesn't
Yeah,
always
but
happen.
we are kind of creating the ideal conditions
That's what we're
for
looking for.
stages.
Continuous flow. We want to try and break down that point-to-point idea. We need those points as references as to where our body should be and what we should be doing, what we should be thinking. But in the end, we want to throw all of that away because one naturally leads to the next, the next, the next. So we were talking about balance, and you were saying when you walk, you naturally come out of balance. But we never notice because we're so good at it that it feels totally natural. We never would describe that as coming out of balance because it's something that we learn to master. But technically, you're right. There's a point here where I'm off balance, that I adjust, and I'm always adjusting. And this is the same. I'm always adjusting. I'm adjusting. I'm adjusting. I'm adjusting. What you most Aikido is done from a different place to what you think. So it looks like the throw is from this hand. And if I let my attention go to this hand, it can't do it. It's not. It's this center. You want him to be thinking that it's going to come from here because then he's not able to respond to the other thing. That's why it's there. And if he lets go, it is there as a weapon. Yeah, does that make sense? Not around, but better. So I was communicating on Laura's part because she reflected what went on with Nick. She walked backwards because that's what she felt. Yeah, cool. Nick, nice. Here we go. Laurie. Tap. That's nice. Yep. Cool. Do one on the vertical. 20 seconds. Oops. Car crash.
Can't see.
Blindfolded.
She's better when she's blindfolded. One more. He wants another one. He wants a more perfection. That was pure adaptation.
In this case, if something's too fast, you just basically go straight. Then you don't wait for the car to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why
So-
you can't see it.
Coming from there. Sorry, come slowly.
Sorry,
Why do all of that when you could do that much quicker? But the whole principle that we've just learned is tied up into that. There's a little circle, but in a little circle, there's a great deal of power. You know, in a vortex, it's the center where everything is being sucked into that. The black hole principle.
I need to provide momentum.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, but even so slowly, I can make it more. You need lots of momentum.
Yes. Or perhaps I need to bring a lot of anger and intent, perhaps, maybe.
Maybe, but you kind of need speed.
You still made him.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because it's still from there, like that's my target. So this is where I start, but suddenly from there it goes in my head.
That's really been brutal.
Oh, just don't. This is
I won't demo it, we'll just do.
it's literally if somebody comes to attack, you go out of a certain attack and go boom.
Yeah, so that's something, you know, most Aikido techniques almost know you. but we've got all the principles that we've learned along that longer journey, literally, all those practice sessions, but making the movement a big movement. So we're aware of the center movement and the circles within it, and keeping our center line and our balance and learning how to ground. All that principle is brought up until in the end, when you watch a master doing it, it's not doing it, it's not moving. The people are flying all around him. Yeah. There's a lot going on that you can't see. Okay, so explaining this, I don't know where it's going to go yet. I know, no, we're not going to say that. We're going to do this instead. So we're going to 2 hands, right? So you can take it. I just do anything, I get compromised. Let's help if I do something. So 1 down, 1 up. But if I can let him come to me, that one gets pushed down. That one I let fold up. But I decrease the distance between us. Yeah, which seems like a stupid thing to do, doesn't it? But it's the best thing to do if you want that connection. Step off the line a little bit. So there's that triangular point, that third leg of the stool that we were talking about. Going to put your mind there. One way of putting your mind there is to put your body there. Right? So often we, like when I'm doing the ABC of first form Kokanagi, okay, we do it like this for the beginner. Forward, round, touch the ground, reach up to the ceiling, and down. Okay, so big movement to emphasize the fact that my mind is going to the floor. My mind is going to the sky, right? In the end, I don't need to touch the floor for my mind to go to the floor. It's just a training exercise. So here, it's not the length of my arms you're operating, it very quickly breaks down. Everything up, everything down in my mind. I should stop, but still, okay. So, very online. We have a famous flying corps called the Red Arrows. And they do flying displays, and the planes cross at thousands of miles an hour, however fast it is. It's terribly impressive. Looks like they're going to crash, but they somehow miss each other. And that's kind of what you want this to look like. I shouldn't be doing that. That's not very spectacular. Well, what if he's got me? Yeah, and we come on the shoulder to shoulder. But my feeling is in to him, even though I've stepped off the line. If my feeling is that I'll try to do that. Right. Yeah. My feeling is to him.
Well, there's an
Yes. Yes. So I didn't let him grab my hand, so there's no fall there, but there's something going on with it. So we now move the hand up with a sense of attack there. Okay, this is the next one to be brilliant. Here you go. Some of the vertical as well as the horizontal.
Sorry.
You feel yourself will come up to your body. You want okay. So your hand never really got beyond there. And I want you to help let it in. Dare to be dangerous. Come on. Attack. Beat attack. Who decides the pace of the attack?
I do.
Yes. Who decides the pace of the defense?
You do.
No, you do. By the pace of your attack. Yes, if that's the attack.
Yeah,
then
that
he
means
has
I
to
can have to
respond
do
to that.
something.
What did you adjust?
My position on the body.
Did you?
And
Yes. You did. You used to turn. You're in the middle. Good stuff. Can you see what's going on from this angle, or would you prefer it on the horizontal? Okay, not you, obviously, Steve.
You can keep the energy.
Do diagonal.
Want the diagonal? Okay, that
The
makes
diagonal.
diagonal. One there, one there. Thank you for the obvious comment. Okay, what are you feeling? Yeah. Okay.
something here.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Oh,
Right, okay, so it's got okay, so see me waving at you. Okay, so if my hand is facing towards you guys, this comes to a stop now. So as it's coming up, this is turning. So I'm now waving at the wall, not at you guys. How does that feel compared to that? It's stopping you, isn't it? So when I'm doing that, it's almost like saying, stop, you shall not pass. My favorite saying in the film, Lord of the Rings. But let her in. You can only let her in by turning your wrist and your hips. This is not going to work as well. I'm getting full of lights. I've opened my hips up here. On the diagonal. That's it. Just straight a bit apart, and that's why it's more difficult than it needs to be.
Try to do it too soon, and I'm
yeah.
going to you.
Keep it shaped down. So, on a couple, then Nico comes in like a flying arrow, or not, as the case may be.
I don't know.
It's getting better, getting better. One more, one more, one more. Oops, that was a stop sign. You shall not pass, and indeed you didn't. Nico. Quicker, more people ready sooner. Oops. What's going wrong?
No, you're moving across rather than going down at the touch. I need to be able to come about this rocking at the touch.
You can be that in now. You can attack from over here. A little bit of waving at him. Wrist didn't quite turn. It was obviously pretty effective. It was, but she's still waving at you.
Well, it's okay, say hello.
Just think how good it would have been if she hadn't waved at you, she waved at you. God, Rash. That's good. Carry on. Really good one. This is folding. What I didn't say is really you're attacking his center point. You attack it with your elbow. And you could attack it with your elbow. So We don't literally attack it with the physical, but literally with the energy. You not attack it? Did you feel the same?
No, actually, you only go backwards.
Yeah, you're right. So it's turn defense into attack. So we're positive at this end, and we're positive at this end. Which is why we train with these babies. They have two ends. He doesn't care which end I hit it with, it still hurts. Yeah, so if he's got this end, and I can't move that end, I can move that end. If he's got my elbow, obviously I can move that end. And if he grabs somewhere in between, it may be appropriate to move that, or it may be appropriate to move the elbow. I don't know. But there's another one on the top, so you've got a choice. Right? So, who's it? Or Laura's in. Right, okay, so attack the center with your elbow. Key ones. You're extending to its center. And don't forget the rest of the technique.
Also, if I'm attacking to the right, you have to go on my, as I'm standing on my right, I have to go this way, otherwise it won't work. At least not with that speed anyway.
Maybe working making the point, it may be obvious, I don't know. Actually, no, come on there. I am, actually, so you'll be attacking, sorry, I'm going to like this, right? Sorry, like this, okay. I am not going to step like this. Okay. I'm going to step like that. The benefit of this is, is I can do that bit and still be here as a target, so that when he arrives, I'm now off the line. Yep. So as far as he's concerned, I'm still here, so I've already shifted. If I did this and didn't move, I've left myself open. So I want him to think, oh yeah, I definitely got him. It's coming closer to me. So a bit like the Netsky, my first movement is to him. Actually, that's fine. My first movement is to him, and I come up the line. Or I enter and turn off the line. But my intention is, I am here for you. If you really want to go for it, I'm going to give it you. So I leave that there for him. That's this one. But I skip off one. I've left room for him outside. I leave room for him to pass. So his whole body can travel there. It's difficult for him to pass here, and there are bits of me that are vulnerable that I'd rather they weren't. So here. And that's the bit that makes him think, oh, I'm going to get my head knocked off here, I better get my head out of the way. That's the next bit. Of course, really in the end, you don't want him to grab your hands. All happen long before he really attacks kids to hold your hand. Depends on the speed they come. Okay, someone back in the middle. Go another round of this, and we've got one row, one quickly. You want to move quickly, so everybody on their feet. Go, 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 go. Everyone's putting around, and they're done. That's good. Up and again, Laura. Feet in. Yeah. No hanging around, feet. Feet are happy now. Yeah, good. Head up. Matching. Laura up, matching. Head up, matching. Oh, it's dancing. Seven to dancing. Okay. Peace in the middle. Nick attacking. Space himself and go again. Steady. And she's coming again. And doors in the middle, and Pete's coming. And then Nico's coming. Oops, come on, come on, come on, come on. And Pete's coming. And Nico's coming. Come on, pressure, pressure. Pete, attack. Nick, attack. Come on, come on, come on. No space. Come on, Pete should be there. Pete, go on. Go for it. Yes, now Pete. Yes, now Nick. Now Pete. It's more. So I'll just open up to the floor, either literally the floor in this room or offline, or online, I should say. Thoughts, ideas, comments? Apart from that, we all need to get fitter, more flexible.
I felt the pressure here.
Yeah, you should see me when we're doing
It's annoying.
pussycat class. Anything else?
We need to, especially kind of perhaps show a slightly more realistic kind of like movement, rather than going go faster, faster, faster. Because actually the responsibility of the uke to conform to what the Tori was giving, as well as the Tori. You know, if for example you're giving right tummy position, then you got to go to the left, not to the right. Because there's this, you know, since we have agreed that we're going to do the tension idea, then I also know that the other person is moving away from the my center of attack. Right? So you know, if it has perhaps it was shown a little bit, you know, to our friends as not quite realistic, just because it was a few mistakes done along the way because of the, you know, perhaps a miscommunication and maybe the hurried nature of the attack.
Okay, lots of mistakes were made along the way.
Yeah.
That's intentional. I want to put you under pressure, so you're making mistakes. Next week when we do it, I want less mistakes. Yeah, so it's about calming down when you're under pressure. We talked about resilience tonight. It's about being able to step up to the mark. So we increased the pressure on it to a level where it was very rapid and it started breaking down. Well, now we know what borderline we want to look at. And it's fine that we're loads of mistakes, but we took you to a place where it wasn't as comfortable as it could have been. And that's okay. And I might be true for the other case too, as well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Best way to learn. Every mistake takes us one step nearer, not making the same mistake as often. Let's put it that way. It's our tendency to make it. Okay, so thank you everybody. I hope it was fun. We can just start off with the guys. And the girls. All righty. Well done, and my thanks.
You guys mind having a photograph?
So let me just stop the recording at this point.